Yes. Hi, everyone. A very good evening to all of you. I hope that all of you are doing well. Yes. Good evening. Good evening. So, welcome back to all in this session. I hope all of you are doing good. Yes. Right. Okay. So, welcome back. I hope that all of you are doing well. So, in the previous class, we have done a few of the topics. I hope you remember we have done map, filter, reduce, pure function, immutability, first class functions, higher order functions. These are the things that we have covered in the last class, right? Okay. So in this class, we are going to start with, I hope you can also access the recordings from the YouTube channel, right? I hope the link has already been shared it with you guys. Or otherwise I can share it again with all of you so that for easier access that in case somebody has missed the session, you can just uh, saw the recording again or the playlist again, and in case you can you miss any of the class, so you'll have the access to all these things. Okay, everyone, right? So again, welcome back to all of you in this session. In this class, we'll be talking about a few things that we are going to discuss, right? And the topics that we are going to discuss in this class includes these four things that we are expected to complete in this particular time period. So we'll be discussing about try catch mechanism, that, and finally also that we have to discuss that how does it work and how actually we need to work upon that, and how we are going to use that in the various examples where we are expected or expecting that there might be some errors, and that's what we need to handle and how we are going to do that, right? Next, we have custom error object handlings, how we can handle those errors in a custom way. We are also going to debug with the dev tools which are there, and we are going to use hand-on debugging tasks if we'll uh, get some time in this class. Otherwise, we'll do that in the next class. Okay. So welcome back again. Let's start with the first topic that we have to work upon, which is try catch mechanism, right? We are going to do all these things with examples. I hope that you remember in everyday class we are doing it with examples, and that's how we learn in all these cases, right? Okay, perfect. So I hope all of you are doing good and you are ready to learn. Let's dive into the topic. That's what we have to cover in this particular session. Okay, everyone. So this is the first thing that we are uh, expecting to cover. And for this, this is the definition that we use, and this is the syntax that we are going to use in the JavaScript, right? So there are three blocks that we are talking about: try, catch, and finally. Try catch is the one that we use for the purpose of error handling. Like we know or we might know there can be some error, or a particular line of code can throw us an error where we expect that it might can happen. That is where we use try block. Then how that error is going to be handled, the line of code which has thrown it, how to handle that statement we are going to write in the catch block. Okay. So two things mainly we are having: try and catch block. Try block we are going to use. We know the line of code that we are expecting to throw an error. We are going to put in the try block. And how to handle that error, we are going to put in the catch block, right? So we are going to write the catch block for the same. Now, apart from this, there is a finally block that we use irrespective. Obviously, if there is no error in that try block, then catch block will not work. Very simple, right? if there is no error in the line of code which has been written, okay? The line of code which has been written onto which we are expecting that it might throw error, that will be handled by catch block. That means one of the thing will work only, right? In case there is no error, this line of code will simply work. If there is an error in that, the line of code we have put in the try block, that is in that case, catch block is going to work. Now, there is finally block which is always going to run, irrespective that either try or catch is working. That means we are talking about whether there is an error in code or there is no error in the code. Irrespective of that, my finally block is always going to run, is always going to work, even after return or any error that whatsoever we have, right? So this is the scenario. Now, what is the purpose of using that? It protects your code from crashing. Like, let's suppose you are writing 100 or 1000 lines of code, and just because of one small error, your entire code which you have written is not working, right? Now, in that case, you are using this mm, try block, try catch block, so that your code is being protected from crashing due to runtime errors, invalid data, failed APIs, or value in different values, defined, not defined. These things are there. And this is the syntax that we use, try catch, and we use finally with that. The code we are going to put in the try where we expect it to throw an error. Catch, we use to handle it. And finally, we use cleanup and always run, right? It doesn't have anything. So let's do one or two examples to understand how does it works, and then we'll move forward with the next thing. Is it okay? So 29.html, that is the file I'm creating here. I hope all of you are listening to me, and I hope that I am clearly audible to everyone present in the class, and my screen is also visible to all of you, right? So we're expecting to write a script here, and for the script, we are going to create an example that will have the try catch block, okay? And this is what we are going to create it, right? Now, similarly, let's consider a very simple scenario that what we are going to learn. Okay. So let's suppose I'm going to have write a simple statement console.log, and I'll say start. Do we have any error in this statement that I've written console.log? Do we have any error in this? Yes. Do we have any error in this? No error in that, right? Okay, obviously. Perfect. Now I'm going to write another statement console.log. This won't work. Do we have any error in this statement also? Do we have any error in this statement also? Again, there is no error in that, right? Okay, perfect. Now, I want to write another statement that I'll be using a keyword throw with assigning the memory new, and I'm calling a function error, and I'm writing inside that something is wrong. Now, do you think this code is going to work? The ninth line. Do you think this is going to work? Allocating the memory, calling it, which has some statement. It is not going to work, right? Now, I know that just because of this statement, my entire code is not going to work. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the entire code in the try block. Is it okay? I'm going to do what? I'm going to put the entire block of the code in the try. Now, what error we are going to handle? For that, I'm going to put the catch in which I'm using a argument, a pass as e, which can be anything, just to caught an error, right? Okay. That what is the error message? I can do anything in that place also. There's no problem in that. Like I'll be taking an input from the user. Let's suppose you are dividing two numbers and someone has given a number 0 in the denominator. So it's not possible to divide that, right? So what I can do, I can say to the user to enter a new number again, right? The number should be greater than 0. That I can put a request to the user, right? Okay. So this is what we can also use try block, try catch block in order to handle that, right? So simply I'm using the catch, which again I'm using what console.log, and I'm just going to print e.message, right? So what it is going to do, this is going to catch an error, and whatever the error it is going to catch, that is going to be passed in this e, and that is going to be print. That is going to print here, right? Console dot. But that should not be on console.log. That should be on console.error. Okay, that will be getting an error message. You can also print something also with that, like caught error, double quotes, comma, and then you can print the message also, right? This is the error that has been caught. Okay. Now, apart from this, this is try catch block that we are using to handle that. Now, there is another block, we call it as finally block. The finally block has no role to play with us respect to try or catch. Okay. So what it is going to do, it is going to do what? Yes, we are going to write something here, console.log, and let's suppose I'll write here hello Prabjot. Okay. Now you know what it is going to happen, irrespective of this try is working or catch is working. Finally block is always going to work. Okay. Finally block is always going to work, right? That means here we are expecting to get an error that is been handled here. It is going to print that, but I'm also getting hello Prabjot in the output also, right? It execute always. Very good, Madhu, right? Okay, so I'll open in the browser. I would like to show the browser to you guys, and let me open the console, and you see now I had an error in my code due to, if I'm not going to use try catch block, then my other line of code is also not going to work, but it is executing the other line of code in which there is no error start, right? Then afterwards what happens, there is an error in there. Once we get an error there, now that will be the will say what that the pointer will be moving towards the catch now, right? So it will come to catch. To handle this error, it is going to print this caught error, and whatever the message that we are having, it is going to print that. And then we will be also executing this finally block, which has hello Prabjot. That is always going to work. You can put any number of statements in that, right? Console.log. You also print by, right? Whatever you are going to put in the finally block is always going to work. Okay. Is always going to work. You see, by will come here, right? In case you do not have any error. Now, let's suppose I'll be moving to example again. Now, in this case, what I'll do, I'll simply remove this. I'll say console.log, right? Now, in this case, do we have any error in these three lines of code? We do not have any error in these three lines of code. It is going to execute now all these three lines of code. Catch is only going to work when there is any error in the code that we have put it in the try block. Now in the try block, we do not have any error. So these three lines will execute. And apart from these, irrespective of try or catch is working, finally will always work. That means I'm expecting 5 statements in my console, right? I'll refresh the page and you see no error. First statement was start, something is wrong, this won't work, hello Prabjot finally, and console.log by is there. So this is how we use the concept of try, catch, and finally block. I hope it's fine and easy to understand with all the participants present in this class. Are we good with that? Now, these are to some of the errors which are predefined, right? But there are few other errors which are there, that we can also create. That means you can also define your own error class. Here too we have some, like if somebody is not going to put 0 in the denominator, that will be zero division error we have, right? It's already defined. If somebody is not going to put the code in the same line, indentation error, syntax error, semantic error. If I'm using wrong word of console, right? I'll use here. Just 1 second. Okay. So apart from this, now these are predefined errors, right? Like if I'm deleting this E here, we know there is an error here, right? That syntax error will be there. Okay. So now the point is, apart from this, do we have any other things that can be handled? Yes. We can even define our own error classes using the class extend errors. Okay. I hope you remember this extend keywords that we have used in the inheritance also, right? It is useful for more specific error handling, like authentication error, validation errors. Like, for example, if you are taking a login, if you are creating a login from and you are, that user is going to enter some values, right? Sometimes what happens, you want the user to create a password of this much length with these alphabets, with some special characters, with some numbers also. So you need to mention these statements. If some user is not going to put that, we do not have any predefined classes for the same. Like if user is not using, then there is some problem. So for that, yes, we create our own classes to handle those errors, right? Very useful for error handling in the authentication error, validation errors that we put. So we can define our own class, error class, using the class. And for that, what we use extend error. Okay. And one more thing that we use here is constructor. Do you have any idea what is the constructor? Anyone in the class? Perfect. Constructor is that function which we need not to, for which we need not to create object. It will be called automatically. Like any function is there, we need to call that function, right? So constructor is one such case of those functions where we need not to create object to call that function. We will need not to call it actually, right? Whenever the object is created, it will automatically get called. Okay. And we also use one of the important thing here, that is super actually, right? Okay. In what we use super, why we use super? Now that is one thing. We used to call the method of the parent class actually, right? Okay. For example, we have two same methods. Yes, super keywords or function. Let's suppose you have two same functions in two classes, right? If I'm calling, let's suppose in this class I have two Bobby present in that class, right? Bobby and Bobby. If I'll say I want to call the Bobby who have joined first of all, right? Now that is what we call it as a, I want to call the function of the parent class actually, right? Okay. Because if I'll say inheritance, inheriting the class For example, I'm inheriting some of the property from class A to class B. Now A is parent class, B is child class. Let's suppose A and B both have same function. If I'll call the if I'll call the function of B class, then obviously it will get called, right? But with the super, we want to call the function of the parent class. This is why we use super also. This is what we are going to use, right? So better is if I'll take a new file and I'll explain it with the help of an example. That would be more easy for you guys to understand. Is it okay? So here we are defining custom error handling, right? This is what we are going to use. Okay, everyone. So we are going to write a script for the same. That is more important, first of all. Okay. And we are going to define the custom error. So what syntax we are going to use? I told you that we are going to create a class, our own class, right? Let's suppose I'll create a validate error class. Okay, everyone. But I want to use it with the help of extends error. Inheritance I am doing actually, right? Okay. I'm creating a class, my own class, custom class. Okay. Custom class is validation error. Extend I'm using inheritance purpose. Inheriting the data from error class, right? So what I'm going to use, first of all, constructor, and I'm going to put message in that. Is it okay? What I'm going to use here is constructor. Okay. And in which I have one parameter message, and the body of it will have the super keyword, in which again I'm going to pass the message. That is the first syntax I'm going to use. And this dot name equals to, and I'll be putting here validate error again. Okay. Now, what is the syntax that I'm using here? This is a class which is taking the properties from the error class. Okay. I've defined my, yes, that is the keyword that we use, Madhu. Okay. Same purpose. Okay. But in order to define that, we use this same name as a keyword, right? So in order to get the properties from error class, I am using inheritance. That is the meaning of first line. Class validate error. This is class name. And we are inheriting the properties from error class. Then I'm using a function which I'm given here is constructor with the name constructor itself, right? Keyword that I'm using. And it has one parameter as message. From where it will get the message? From the error class, right? Whatever the message that we are going to put. Is it okay? Now I'm calling the super function here or keyword here because we want to get the data from the parent class. Which is my parent class? Error is my parent class. From there, I want to call that error. This is the reason I'm using the super. And we have also used this keyword here because I do not want to define a new variable, right? I'm going to use the same variable name, which will have this data in order to mention that this is my keyword that we are using, which I've already explained it to you a few classes back. Now, this is our own error class that we have created, right? Okay. Now, how it is going to work for this, we need to have some data and that should have some error in that, right? Parent class, this is the parent class. Now, error is the default parent class, Bobby. I'm creating the validate error and I'm extended the properties from error class. This is by default. Now, in the previous example, we have done error. That is the default. Now, e dot message. From there, it will automatically print the message from the like browser, that whatever the error that will get now, it will take it. So error is my parent class, which has all those properties which we are extended. Yes. Now, obviously, I need to get some data. I need to create something with which we can call this function. So for this, I'm writing an example. That is, I'm writing a function here That function name I'm taking is validate age. Okay, let's suppose I'm creating a form and only those users can fill the form who have age more than 18, right? Let's suppose it has some parameter. I'm going to check that if the age is less than 18, that condition I'm going to put, and I'll say throw new, and I want to throw an error. The previous example, we have used error here, right, Bobby? Now that error was the predefined error. Is it okay now? Whatever the error I will get, it is going to print that, right? But if somebody age is less than 18, it is not a predefined error. Now it has nothing to do with that. I want to create that error on my own. This is the reason that throw new, I'm going to not use error by default, which is the default class. I'm going to use the error class which I have created, and my error class name is validate error. Is it okay? My error class name is validate error. This is what I'm using. Making sense to all of you, right? Now I want it to throw an error. How will it understand? That message I'm going to put here, right? Age must be 18 or more, right? Age must be 18. Is it okay? I'm saying age must be 18, right? This is what I am saying. Is it fine, right? So this function is going to work, but obviously not to run that, it is going to work. If the age is less than 18, it will throw an error. If the age is not less than 18, yeah, just wait for 1 second, Madhu. Now let me just complete this, right? Then I'll come to that, okay? Otherwise, I want it to return. I'll come to that, Madhu. Okay, just wait for a second. Right? I have not completed my code yet. Just 1 second. Right. So I've created a function that is going to throw this error. It is going to call this validate error. And once it is called, this function will be automatically called. And that message will be passed here. And it is going to print me this message that age must be 18. If it is not, then I simply want it to return the age, or I want it to return a message that age is validated. Okay. Right. Now that is my function which I've created. Simple. Now I'll be using here statement console.log, and I'll say here validate age is my function. I'm going to call my function actually, right? I'm going to call my function with the value 16. First of all, is it okay? Now when this validate age will be called, 16 will be passed here, and 16 is less than 18. This condition is true. So it is going to throw an error that is validate error. If I'm not wrong, agree with that point? It is going to throw an error. Is it okay? I know this line of code will have an error. If you know this line of code will have an error, what do you need to do? Tell me. If you know that this line of code will throw an error, what do you have to use? Tell me. If you know some lines of code, you have to use try catch. Very good, Bobby, right? Perfect. That means I'm going to put this statement inside the try block. Is it fine for all of you to understand? And I'm going to write the catch with the message E. Is it okay? And again, I need to write a statement here now, because there are two things. One is, see now, Madhu, right? One is I know the age is less than 18. That is one error which customized error I'm creating. Is it okay? But there can also be some other error na, which is unknown, which might be due to something else also can come, right? I don't know now. Maybe if I'm writing console.log here, then to in that case, there are two errors we are having, Madhu, right? One error, that function is going to return me. customize error. And second error, though, I'm also getting because of the wrong syntax. That means two errors I'm expecting here. Do you understand my point? Now for that, we are using this now, this variable, right? With returning us. But again, I'll tell you why we have used this, okay? Right? So in the catch, I'm writing if E instance of, if E is the error, which is an instance of, E is the error, which is an instance of validate error, okay? Then what I want to put console.error, and what I want to put that validation error, and I will say e dot message. Okay, this is what I want. If the error that we are having in this, that might be due to age is less than 16, which is a customized error, but that also might be possible in case I am writing a wrong syntax now. Then it is very important for me to write the error message to handle this error both way, because I'm not sure about that now. One is customized error, one error I can also have due to wrong syntax I'm using here in this example, right? And that means I need to handle both the errors, Madhu. Okay, Bobby. I need to handle the error, which is an instance of validate class, that is age is less than 18. That is one error, but I also need to handle another error also, which might be due to the syntax error, right? For which I'm going to use this else part. Is it okay? And I'm also going to write the condition for the same. That is console dot error. Okay. And in that I'm writing here is unknown error. And I'm simply going to print here is E, whatever error is there, right? So in the catch part, if user is having the customized error, that will be handled in the if part. If user is having a error due to the wrong syntax or anything predefined, then I'll be using here else part, which is unknown error for the same. This is what I'm using here. Is it okay? So I'm using try catch block for the same. And this is script I'm writing. So let me open this in the browser. And let me share the screen with you guys so that we can understand what we are talking about. Let me just take inspect. Let me go to console and see we are getting validation error must be, sorry, minimize. It is saying validation error and it is saying age must be 18. It is saying age must be 18. That means what happens when I'm going to call this function, the function is going to pass 16 and as the value was less than 18, so it is throwing me error of customized class. So when it is going to throw an error of customized class at this, then for this message age must be 18 will be passed to this message and that will be called, right? What? Validation error, age must be 18. This is the if condition which is working right now to handle the error of validate error. In case I deleted that now, let's suppose, right? My age I'm putting here 19. Do we have any error of customized class? No. Age is greater than, age is 19. 19 less than 18, false. It will return age is validated. And the point is I have an error of console. I'm not writing the console syntax error. In that case, this is an instance of validate error. No, no, no. This is an unknown error that is going to work. In this case, this E will work. Is it okay? So let me refresh. Let me refresh. Go to this and show you here. Now we are getting unknown error reference that console is not defined. Can you see here? Now that is the inbuilt error. So here I'm writing a code to handle the error. One is customize error. I'm also handling the error in case I'll get it from the system predefined. That's what we are talking about. This is what it means. This is the purpose we are using customized error handling also. That is very, very good in case you are using form validation techniques and you are using all those things to define uh, the customized error for your input box that you're using in a form or anywhere else. Make sense to all of you? Is it okay? Is it helpful to you guys? Let me know if you have any doubt, any confusion, anything. Is it understandable? Sir, my question is, we use this variable name we are not initializing. But actually, Madhu, that was present in the error class, na predefined, bacha, right? This was actually defined in the error class, na. I'm calling here, see, constructor of this, right? Validate error. Okay. Is it okay now with others? Perfect. Next thing that we need to work upon is debugging and debugging with the dev tools that we are having. Is it okay? Now, do you know the purpose of debugging? First of all, you tell me. When you hear this word as debug, what do you understand? Anyone in the classroom? When you hear this word debug, or debugging, what does it mean? To fix error, yes. But why? What is the purpose of debugging? I want to understand the meaning of debug. This is what I want. I want to understand the meaning of debugging. Yes, we use it to fix errors, but debugging is to check the code line by line, if I'm not wrong. That is the purpose we are using debugging, right, Madhu? We are using debugging obviously to remove unused bugs. Perfect, to fix errors. But what is debugging? Debugging is checking the execution of code line by line so that we can understand where the error is, so that we can fix the error, right? So the purpose of debugging is to do what you have mentioned. But what is debugging? Yes, it is line by line execution that we are talking about to handle it. Is it okay? So using the browser dev tools, we can use that. We can set the breakpoints, right? Breakpoints. After this, I will check. Like we are running a loop from 1 to 100, and each line we are checking it one by one. We are setting a breakpoint after each 1 point, right? So that we can inspect that. We can check the step through the code. We can watch the variable values each time the loop is working or anything is working, right? And we use debugger statement to pause the code also, so that we can check at which point we have error and how we can handle that. So it is very important to understand the step-by-step execution, the step-by-step values of all these things, with which we will understand that where the error was and how we can handle that, right? Okay. So very simple example I would like to mention for the debugging. Yes, I would write a script for the same. Very simple. Okay, that will do. Let's suppose I'll write a function here, which is VL underscore E R. I'm using any function name I can use if it is a valid, right? Okay. I'm passing two parameters here, A comma B, two arguments. I'm writing here debugger. Okay, everyone. Right? I'm using here debugger. So I'll define a variable result equals to A plus B. Okay. And I want it to return result. Right? Fine. Now on the contrary, I would like to print here console.log, and I would like to print the result here, and that is to call my function val underscore er. I would like to pass a value 2 comma 4. Is it okay? Whatever the value you can pass, it's totally fine, right? So with this simply, what is going to happen? Once I'm going to execute that, I'll open the browser. I'll inspect. I'll go to the console, right? I'll get the 6 here. But I hope you remember that we have also done in the previous class. I hope you remember that what debugger means, right? If I'm going to write this statement here, right? Okay, if I'm using here this debugger, DEBUGGER, if I'm going to use that, what is going to happen? The execution will pause here, right? Okay, so what you need to do? You need to open the DevTools console plus source tab. Is it okay, everyone? So let me share the screen with you guys for the browser, and so that you can understand. And now you are going to tell me, as we have also discussed a small example in one of the previous class also, you tell me, right? What we need to do? We need to open the DevTools. Do you remember that, everyone? Yes. Do you remember that? Okay. We need to open the tools and we need to open the developer tools. So next thing what we need to do, tell me. We need to open the console and we need to open the console with what we need to open, tell me. Yes, we have done that in the previous class. More tools. Yes, I want you to say it to me. I want you guys to tell me. Hurry up. I'm waiting for you. You have to open the DevTools console source plus tab. You have to do that. Hurry up. Tell me how you can use that in the browser. We have done in the previous class also. Is there any shortcut for the same? Not, no. Okay. What about others? Yes, Madhu. I hope you remember in the previous class also we have done that, isn't it? Yes, everyone. We can use that. I forgot. Okay. What about others? There are other participants also in my class. Why you guys are not responding here? Yes, I want you to respond. Yes, yes, everyone. Tell me. Yes, all of you. There are other participants also who are in my class. Why you guys are not responding? Very strange. Because they are smart students. Why? But they never respond in like other things also. If I ask any doubt, if I'll ask anything else, they just don't respond. Okay. So I am giving this task to you guys then. So you require developer tools. Okay, everyone. You need to open the console. Okay. You are checking the result. Once you're going to refresh that, you see this is the code. Okay, everyone. Okay, Madhu, right? Once you open your console, you need to refresh the page. Once you refresh on the part where you have debugger, you will see that your A value is initialized in that, B value is initialized, but at the point of debugger, it has chopped. Can you see here, guys? Is it okay? because debugger has paused your current situation to understand what value is going to put in the A and B, right? After the debugger, it has not worked because my execution has stopped at the debugger, right? To understand the flow of the information. Is it okay, everyone? Right? So once you refresh that, you'll be able to see, and you can just go to the console and you can find out that it will work properly. Is it okay? This is what we use, right? So I would like to give you few of the examples that you can do it by the next class. Is it okay, everyone, right? I want to give you few of the examples. I want you to try out these examples for the next class so that it will be easy for you to work upon the things that we are doing and we understand that. Is it okay? Right? So I would like to give you few tasks. Let me just give it to you guys. And I'm expecting that you guys will complete it before the next class so that you can handle that. Okay. So the task one I'm doing to handle the parsing error. Is it okay? The code, I want you to write the code. Okay. You just try it out. Okay. Everyone, I'm just writing the task here. Okay. The task one is to handle the JSON parsing error, parse a JSON string, and handle the format using try catch. Is it okay? I want to create a I want you to create a custom error also. I want you to create a custom error also. Define a range error for invalid age and throw it. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. You can take the time till Friday that you can do. Is it okay for all of you, right? Okay. You can use, you can try it out, right? Let me give you few other additional hands-on and I'm giving you one uh, question here. I'll share this file. There's another task, okay? The task is to fix the broken code. Okay, everyone? This is the code which I'm giving it to you guys. Try catch. And question is, will catch run? Why not? You have to modify the function to throw an error manually if the value of b is equal to 0. Okay, this is the task I'm giving it to you guys to make it work. Is it okay, everyone? Right? So before that, let me share the files with you guys. I hope that you understand the things, and I hope that it was a good session to work upon in the today's class. So I'm sharing the files and I'm also sharing the link with you guys today. Okay, so that you get all the files over there, right, everyone? So I hope it is fine. It is okay with all of you, and I hope it was a good session to connect with you guys. So thank you so much for uh, for being the most attentive students in the class, Bobby and other Madhu, right? Okay, so keep practicing, and I also want other students to participate in this class. Vishwas, Vishali, Vishal Singh, Viknesh, Vijeshri, Priya, Lakshita. In case you are having any kind of doubt or facing any difficulty, you please let me know. We'll also going to work on a project. I'll help you in that, what and how you have to achieve that right at the end of this. So I request other participants also to please work on daily basis, practice all these things, and that's all from my side for today's session. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Take care. Have a good day. Good night, actually, right? Okay. Thank you.